not a journalist. The person
They
is
have to set an
more a
example. This can
self-proclaimed
never be
broker.
repeated.
No. This person,
even if it has happened in the
this
past,
person, whoever it is, you see, Chandresh, who cannot spell you, who has a propensity to write you as YPU, this individual is not a journalist. This individual is some kind of a broker, blackmailer.
But
You're saying it's okay?
Whoever it is, whether it is a male, female, whoever it is,
Yeah, whoever.
my point is, what can the BCCI do at the most?
No, but Irfan Pathan has said this is not the first time.
So where were they all this time? That's my question. Where were the cricketers? Why were they keeping quiet all this while?
Why were the cricketers? He blames the cricketers. He's blaming Wriddhi. Harpal, Chandresh is blaming Wriddhi. Instead of blaming this person who cannot spell you and says you is YPU. Harpal, what's going on here?
See, they are not journalists, they are paratroopers. They are not journalists, who call them, respected. Writing 2-3 articles and commenting doesn't make them journalists. Nowadays it has become a fashion to be a personal friend and then talk to yourself. I am in this profession for 43 years. I have asked for interviews and a lot of people said, no, we not give interview. I never threatened, nobody can threaten. It is a prerogative of a athlete to give interview or not to give interview.
Correct.
Now the gentleman, everybody knows it. Why to say he or she? Everybody.
Let's not name anyone. Let's not name anyone. It's the BCCI.
Obviously, we are not naming it, but everybody knows it. And I think most of these people like him are the paratroopers. Suddenly they hit the headline. They come to you or to that they are suddenly seen on TV channels and they talk big. And the big without any foundation. Nobody challenges them. They will say, I know this fellow, I know that fellow, I had this party. And people get carried away by their big talk. They talk nonsense with conviction. The question is here, people like us, Chandresh or me, who have gone through this mill, think twice because we have editors above us. We have other people to above us, sub-editors, editors, sports editors. But these paratroopers have nobody. They suddenly land up and one day they say, oh, we have broken a story. We have created a story. The problem here is at the moment is cricket has become a big business. Otherwise, we also knew how to talk to Kapil Dev, Madan Lal, Yashpal Sharma, or Sachin Tendulkar, or Chandresh has interviewed. We have got so many World Cup together. The question is, this gentleman or the person who is involved here is threatening and
it's threatening. Yeah, the issue is the threat.
No. Most important thing, another most important thing is when he was threatening, all the TV channel owners believed him that he is a man or she is a person who can get things done. So once he has created an aura, see, you can't blame, although he had that aura now, otherwise, why can't I threaten or Chandresh threaten or other people threaten? The fact remains.
No, but then Harpal ji, first of all, a lot of respect for people like you. As you've said, everybody's been through the mill. The problem is that when people who are journalists immediately are peddling their influence and then building that, it's not, you see, Mr. Bedi, it's not about... No, you are calling I say it's more dangerous because as you realize, and Gaurav says, there's a lot of money in cricket. So if somebody wants to get in, right, using a network or whatever, or, and once you're in, then tries to use that proximity for all these kind of things. Look at the language. The language is choose the person who will help you, which means you scratch my back, I scratch yours. In the most competitive sport in the country with billions riding on it, an individual says, I can get you a place in the team, which also means, Gaurav, if you don't oblige me, I can get you out. This person has to be named.
So you look at it, each player today has an agent. He has someone who takes care of his marketing, his image. Very often it is someone very close. As we know with some of India's best cricketers, an agent is possibly, after the cricketer, the most powerful person in cricket. The kind of access he has to each cricketer's time, money, and whatever he can do is huge. What journalists will, from this point, move on to do is to be surrogate agents, if they're not already doing that. They do what advertising does, but in a different way, which often is seen to be more credible. Having been in advertising, I worked with enough clients who will often say, listen, could you get us a press release? Because that has more credibility. And that is what we are looking at journalists doing, where you can change the narrative of a cricketer. If only recently Ajinkya Rahane, who was dropped, was in an interview which created quite a furore, again with a respected journalist, and it had huge access, it created headlines. This is Rahane, the player who Twitter has been crying for, that this man should be dropped. Pujara and Rahane have gone through this sustained assault on Twitter, where social media tries each cricketer. Yet after that interview, where Ajinkya Rahane said that there were certain things which he did, and the credit went to someone else in Australia when he was the captain. That was pretty big, right?
Yeah.
And that is the impact of a social influencer, of a journalist.